So Andy Serkis, of course, is working on the new Lord of the Rings. He's been talking about that while he's involved, he's directing it. He's doing the first part about, it's about Gollum, but he was talking about how they're evolving technology right now, integrating AI, and teasing another project he's working on through his actual company, because he has his own production company and his whole visual effects company, VFX company. He said they have a new technology that he said people are going to call it a form of magic that is frightening. That's what he's calling this new AI technology. But his Imaginarium production outfit is making this right now where they can make a story. And what they do have 2D artists that work with some voiceover, and they create a character, and then AI takes it over, and then they come to life in augmented reality, and that whole character, it can walk around, talk to you, involve you, and it's all AI based. So this has been happening a long time. Well, it started happening with Lion King, I think. When Lion King, Jon Favreau made that, he wanted to make, with augmented reality, showcase you the whole world. And they shot it that way too. So you put these glasses on, the cameras can shoot it, it shows a whole world. You saw all of Pride Rock, all the animals running and stuff like that, and it was all involved with AI. It was created that way. But now we're gonna have real people with AI incorporate into them, interact with you, talking to you, kind of like Grand Theft Auto, but they're AI based. And they'll be growing and learning, and they'll have more and more of these environments involved with AI characters. And so now when you actually want to rehearse and stuff like that, you can pop in and interact with all these different people, and their AI. Now, this is a slippery slope, of course. He was saying that, there's all these guidelines the United States have been pushing forward. They're going to be taking this overseas to the UK, where we don't have the guidelines like that, to try to evolve this further, which is also kind of frightening to me. But I think this is where technology is going to go, 100%. But where does it go for the actor? Where does it go for the talent? If this can get awesome and it grows and it becomes a big thing, all of a sudden we might not actually need it, which we talk about the whole time on Kruse Control. They try to remove the actual physical actor. Now, again, this is based in, and Andy Serkis has done some great technology advancements, if you ask me. What he did with Gollum, with his stop motion and his physical body movements he did to create that character was fucking awesome. It was groundbreaking. He did it with Caesar in the Planet of the Apes movies as well. He's changed the game that way. And he said, don't be scared about it, because it's gonna be great. But to me, it's what we've been fighting against, and I think that overall it's going to become a problem down the line. And CGI is one thing, but if you actually make AI characters and you start it and they can interact with you, where does that go? Where does that world grow? Maybe it's the next Skynet. Maybe they may take over in that world and they grow and they fucking branch. I think this is me conspiracy shirt that they branch out from there. But it is interesting that they're able to make actual characters in an augmented reality world that are AI based, that can talk to you and involve the whole storyline with you without actually having anybody there to portray those people. Crazy concept. Crazy. I see Jonathan shaking his head.
Are you talking about a game or a film?
No, movies, films. He's using it as his own first film, a narrative film. He's not saying what the title of it is, but it's one of his next films before Lord of the Rings. He's using it on, and they're having some voiceover artists, but then they take that with light design, and then all of a sudden the AI takes over and brings those characters to life.
Are you using AI the way that you should be? AI meaning it's making the decisions and it's writing the dialogue and it's doing all that?
Yep, they have their voices, and they use those voices, and they pay those voice actors, but the AI takes it like it's been doing forever. AI, Frank Sinatra's out there, AI, everybody, and it's learning from those phrases and making whole dialogue based on that person's voice, but under its own guidelines. It's wild. It's a wild topic. It's a wild topic, Jonathan. I say, Jonathan wants to go away. All right, I'll let you go, Jonathan. I'll let you go first, man. Get in there for a second. So you think that this is going to change the game? Is this a slippery slope? Andy Serkis, again, is a person that has helped evolve this world in technology for film, for cinema. But is this a step too far in the wrong direction, or a step in the right direction that could actually help actors? Because it could help you get into the character, because you have people that interact with. They're starting with background people with smaller parts that aren't even actual real. It just makes the world alive. But is that going to be a problem down the line?
I'm sorry, Brian, what is the actual question?
Will it be a problem down the line? It will work for
problem. Yeah. A problem for who?
For everybody. Hollywood, actors, performers.
No. When has the latest technology been received well by the entire populace? Never. But as somebody who works I can't comment on film and animation, stuff like that. Okay, I can't. So maybe somebody else should go first. But I can comment in my industry, and it's starting to take over my industry. But I've already made money by taking advantage of this. hosting and spokesperson industry. Okay, there are companies and websites. I'll make this as quick as I can. There are companies and websites who say, "Paid talent actors, if you're a host or VO people, join our database. We'll pay you $500. Pay you like $150, and we'll use your image and your likeness. Read all of these words, and then you allow us to use your image and likeness in AI forever and ever throughout the universe." Amen.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that's the way to go. I think the way to go is to say, listen, I'll absolutely sell you my image and likeness, and I'm going to sell it to you for a session rate, which is the time I spend recording it, and then usage. And maybe it's a 2-year or 1-year usage fee. But every time that file or image of me is sold, I'm going to get that well, not every time, pardon me. At the end of every span. So if I sign a 1-year agreement, then at the end of 1 year usage. If I sign 2 years, at the end of 2 years, I'm going to get that check again. So now what it's amounting to, if I'm explaining this correctly, because I feel like I'm rushing it, right? If I correctly,
You're good.
what's going to happen is I get the session fee, then I get the usage fee, but they can use it forever and ever and ever, and I keep getting that usage fee every year, every 2 years. Even if it looks like me and it's not me, what do I care? I don't want to come back and do it again in 2 years. Keep using the image of me that you have. But what we need to do is make sure that our agreements, our contracts are in place so that people can continue using our AI generated imaging, us, and that we get paid for it. As long as the entertainment lawyers are doing their jobs, and the union people, or whatever you want to call it, the people who negotiate these things, as long as they're doing their jobs, then we as talent, we shouldn't be afraid of this. We should welcome it. And here's my second point that I swear to you I'm done.
Yeah.
If you're doing an infomercial or something where it requires two people, right? You've got the quote unquote straight man and then the comedy guy. Well, most of the time they say, well, we have $5,000 budget, right? So we're going to have 2,500 go to the comedy guy and 2,500 go to the straight man. Well, what if the straight man is the AI and the comedy guy is the real person?
Zach Galifianakis.
That just means I'm charging $5K now because your computer generated straight man can set up all the jokes. Lean into this technology, y'all. It ain't going anywhere. It ain't going away.
not.
Change it. Lean into it. Figure out how to make money off of it. And you'll be better off than all of your compatriots who are fighting the future. Don't fight the future. Fight those who try to hold you down. But the development and the future of technology, figure out how you can align with that and profit from it. And that'll make you, if not rich, it'll make you a hell of a lot of money.
Fight the future. That was a good X-Files movie. I miss some X-Files.
What do you say about that? Come on, Brian.
No,
What do you think about it?
I 100%, you know, that's the thing too. You can't fight the future. This is where we're going. And I think once the biggest part of these strikes were really to integrate, you know, legislation where we can take care of these contracts, we can take care of ourselves, we can get paid in perpetuity for our likeness. And that's the biggest idea of all of it. Of course it is. I think that SAG laid down themselves a little bit on there. I love the union. I'm very much involved with it, but I worry about some of the verbiage. In every contract, you got to worry about the verbiage because sometimes things are interpreted a little bit wrong. And I think that we did some good steps, and I think we have to keep working on those steps so we are protected and our asses are taken care of so we don't have any problems where our likeness is, you know, taken away from us. End of the day, it has to be. I guarantee a lot of actors are going to actually copyright their likeness into the future too. And that's a way to save yourself too. That's going to be a big thing moving forward. If you haven't done it, you should do it.
How are people not doing that?
People aren't doing it.
You're a small
it's a big
business
deal.
owner. If you're an actor, you're an LLC. You're a small business owner. Do that now. Don't wait for AI. Do it now.
But I think this is fascinating what Andy Serkis is saying here, because it can help you immerse yourself into the character, into the environment. It just might be a thing where we get to Skynet. That's conspiracy theory shit. Maybe it takes over. That can always happen with AI. That's a regulation thing. But I do wonder where it's going to go. But we can't fight it. It's going to keep building. I love technology. Everybody knows that about me. I love technology. I'm all about it. But I also say, let's just make sure we have our ducks in a line. Right, Rachel? Rachel, how you feeling about this? I see you're like, this is not, we always talk about AI here. It's always slippery slope. Do you think that is Andy Serkis to be the downfall of society for actors, Rachel? What do you think?
I mean, downfall of society feels a bit extreme. I think that we're going to run into problems when you no longer need to license someone's image, when you can create an entirely new image outside of somebody else. You take bits and pieces of 10,000 different people, pay them each a penny, and now you've got a new thing that you don't have to pay for, and you make that act for you. I think that this kind of technology could be really interesting in the theme park industry. I think that's a really good usage for this type of technology, where someone can go in and interact with a thing that's not there. Disney buys it. You can go hang out with Elsa, and it's, not a person in a costume anymore, which, again, you're taking away a job. That sucks. But I think for the kids, that's going to be a much more realistic interaction for them, because they can actually speak and respond to what is programmed to be Elsa and is an animated creature who looks like Elsa. For example. So I think that is maybe an interesting use of this. You can use for like escape rooms. There's all sorts of entertainment options that aren't acting. I think you could use this for, once it's refined. I don't love using it. I've never loved replacing or integrating too much of this type of automation in creative endeavors. I think that in business endeavors, sure, there's a lot of jobs and a lot of things that don't need to be done by a person anymore. A lot of my jobs could be done by a robot. And that's just what it is. Like, I fill out paperwork for a living. I send emails for a living. What am I doing in 2024? Like, I'm going to be automated the fuck out of here by 2030. And I don't want to hop on too many horses here, but so I'll just kind of leave it at that. But I think the creative jobs are what we don't need to be sort of moving past. I think there's ways to improve certain things. I think that you could use AI in very creative ways to maybe fill in plot holes in scripts. Be like, put in your script, be like, hey, is there a plot hole here? Is there something missing? And AI can kind of read through it and kind of go to there. I think just like... I don't think creatives are where we get rid of people. That's my opinion. And I think there are ways to use AI, but I don't think that getting rid of creative people is how we utilize it.
Do you think that this would actually do that, though? Because honestly, it's very early on. It's something that they're making for the augmented reality, create a world around the actor. Is that going to be something you think that they're thinking about even, or do you think this is just to make a tool, an instrument to help the actor immerse himself in the world?
I mean, isn't that kind of what one of your previous jobs was for? Isn't kind of stand-in kind of was part of that, the point? But
when I was doing the Paul Rudd thing, when I was doubling for him, I mean, they had all the extra Paul Rudds, and I was there for that, and so he could have more Paul Rudds around him. It could, if they were able to use that to just double Paul Rudd in the actual scene. But then again, I was actually there when he couldn't be there, though. So that was the purpose of my job a lot of times. It was a bonus. I was there for that multiple Paul Rudd scene, but when he couldn't be there, they used me. So that's the whole thing.
But I'm sorry, could you go back to your question? I got off track there.
I was just saying that overall, do you think that this is just be a tool, which is what they're saying it's going to be? Could this tool be manipulated and abused to take away jobs?
Contracts. That's what I was going to go about. I think that I have very little faith in the ability of right now for the union to stand up for people enough. They were very weak on their last negotiations when it came to AI. And I think that they need to be stronger on it if this is going to be the future, or a lot of people are going to get screwed out of a lot of money because they just won't have the backing to demand what they deserve for their performances.
It's a constant battle, Rachel. It's a constant battle right now, and I think that the next contract will have hopefully even more guidelines to help people.
I would love for the contract to be able to protect actors, but given how much they conceded on it this last time, it's really hard to have that kind of faith.
Do you want to say something to her, Jonathan, before I go to GR?
Do I look like I?
It kind of looks like you want to say something.
Okay. To protect actors, what are they doing that's not protecting us?
Not demanding enough pay. And when we were talking about the negotiations with...
It's not up to the union to demand enough pay. It's up to the individual actor. The union is there to make sure that these minimums and standards are met. But I don't know about you, but I don't remember the last time I worked for Scale. Do you work for Scale?
When you're talking about the little guys, like there's a lot of little guys out there who just don't have that sort of demand yet to be able to demand
guess my
things.
point.
And there will always be someone there who will take the minimum. And as long as that minimum is so low, they're going to take advantage of that.
Okay, so then your issue isn't with how they treat actors with AI. Your issue is how they treat actors, period. Which, you know what? That I'll go with you on. That I'm in agreement with you on.
This is just one puzzle, one piece of a greater puzzle of workers not being treated fairly.
You know what? Then I'm in agreement right there. And Brian, if you want to interject and move on,
I do hate that.
If you want to hear, yep.
I do hate the one terminology in there. It's like simulated performer, and it's like, what does that mean? You know. And that could be a lot of things. So interpretation and verbiage is always a problem.
Make great money off of as well.
You could, but you could also be abused by it too. There's always that's the thing about the legalese when it comes down to these contracts. It can be interpreted a lot of different ways, and people can twist it, turn it, and all that. You can help it come into your favor as an actor, or it could bone you really bad. And that's just every contract. Every contract.
You're a patron at an Applebee's too.
It's true. I mean, but I just worry. I always worry about the future for it. I think that we'll have to always have talent. But I worry about the one thing I worry about is actors, like young actors, having opportunity in the future. I think the actors that are established, that are here, they will always have that. Even the older they get, they'll be licensing off. Who'll be the 15th Tom Cruise? We're gonna have that one day. The first Tom Cruise will come. Like, oh, this is not Tom Cruise, but put his face on it. And Tom Cruise will get paid a fucking lot of money.
We'll give Tom Cruise some telomeres, and he'll be doing it forever.
But there's also the telomere thing. That could happen too, but it wouldn't even matter. Fucking telomeres, GR. It might not fucking matter because you take those telomeres and you live fucking to be forever. So it doesn't matter. Because GR has something to say here. Let's go to GR fast. He does not say anything. GR, how do you feel about this whole new technology that Andy Serkis is using? And do you see any kind of issues that could arise from this new technology he's going to use in his new movies?
Well, let's want to spend about 12 hours here. I think both Jonathan and Rachel are correct, but bottom line, it comes down to the union has to do things, set some guidelines of where it can be used and can't be used. Because this easily, and whether you believe it or not, AI could easily replace every actor on the planet.
It could, GR, but you think that, I mean, is this just like, he's saying this, even Andy Serkis said, like, this is, people might freak people out, might make them worried, but this is great technology, it's going to help us, advance us. He put that right there. People are going to say it's magic. Do you think that there'll be an uproar all amongst the community because of this technology being used?
Are you talking about the acting community or the general public?
Yeah, the acting community.
I think there will be. I mean, people they don't want to lose work. That's what it comes down to. Let's go ahead, Brian.
I was going to say, I know that's what the whole last contract was. You saw people freaked out a lot. And I think that's a worry.
When it came to AI, they just said, oh, let's settle this, get it done with.
Well, that's also what happens when people need to make money and they're all producers are pushing and, people are worried about what comes next and being off for a long time. There's a lot of things that happen at the very end of that negotiation because people were pushing each other's buttons, That's what it was. I mean, even Fran, you could tell how defeated she was. I love Fran Drescher, but I think she was defeated after how many months of negotiating. What do you do? What do you do?
She called me so many times.
Did she?
Not
friend
for real, but those recorded
those auto messages.
Yeah, I got so many too.
Messages.
So many messages, so many emails. I felt bad for her in those negotiations. I felt bad.
Take this technology and get rid of customer service. No one should have to be yelled at. Make robots be yelled at.
Well, can they actually do the job though? That's the question. They will eventually.
Once we get this technology going to the fact that they can simulate human interactions, sure.
And pay actors to do the voices for them. It'd be like John Travolta. Oh my God, I'm gonna give you a good discount today. It'd be fucking fantastic. It'd be great. It'd be 10% off.
Yes, Jonathan.
Jonathan, yes.
Okay. So we were talking about unions, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, the union can help, should help, but the union, this is my opinion, okay? And look, I pay my dues, I do my thing, whatever. The union should be there to back you up, not
Always.
set you up.
Bam. That's what I'm saying it, Jonathan.
My
100%.
concern is the lack of backup.
What's that?
My concern would be the lack of backup.
Have you called them? Have you called the phone number and said, this is what I need. I'm coming to the office. This is what's happening. And look, you're in probably the LA office. The Miami office is probably a little bit smaller. But every time I've called them during business hours saying I need something, there's somebody on the phone that moment. I don't have to call back. Somebody picks up that moment and they talk to me. That being said, that wasn't even my full point. My full point is
Queen.
this. There's always... What?
I said go on, Queen. I just whispered to Queen for a second.
In the chat. I thought you were I'm like, all right. Okay. I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah, Queen.
But
Hey, there's two queens on Monday, okay?
we haven't established that quite yet, but fine, whatever. I'll go with it because I was like, yes, fine, okay. Anyway, point is, with AI, there was a time when they said, "What are we doing? Go into this moving pictures thing because Broadway and vaudeville is how it's supposed to be, and anything that comes up that's taking away money from actors because we're recording their image and showing it on a screen. Why not put them on a stage? That's taking money away from actors." But then they found a way to pay those actors based on usage. Mm-hmm. Right?
Which is big. Paying for the usage.
Things like that. So with AI, it's not up to the union to determine this is what we need. It's up to us, the actors and the members, to call the union as the people that make up a union, to call them and say, this is what we want. This is how it should work. Once we do that as a whole,
Right.
then they might start listening. And if they don't listen, then you talk to any producer that's auditioning you or casting you. Say, oh, are you using AI in this? In what way are you using it? Put that in writing. So then everything goes in writing. If they're going to use AI, welcome that, but treat AI as if it's your day on set. If it's not usage, maybe it's your session fee.
Which doesn't is big.
Right? Doesn't matter. Use AI or use me. Either way, I still get that session fee.
I get paid for that freaking day.
Residuals? Why am I mad if I'm at home,
which they will,
using me and I'm being paid for?
That idea. I'm mad at the idea that they'll say, well, you didn't actually perform today, so we're going to pay you 5 cents on the dollar for your
They're not allowed to say that if you make the contract with them. You might turn down that contract that doesn't agree to that. You might. But
they are trying to stop it though, John. They're trying to stop you from doing reshoots and just not use you and use AI. So you got to make sure you just watch every little thing and make sure you put that out there for reshoots and all that.
Up your day rate.
Yep.
Up your usage fee. I'm $55K. Not 55K. $5,500 a day.
I like to use better.
Well, right.
Jared will take that shit.
I'm $5,500 a day, and then you can use all of my images and likeness. You can use AI to correct it. You get 2 years to do that for an additional $5,500. So that ends up at being $10,500 for one commercial, one shoot, whatever. You're going to turn that down? No. If they turn that down, fine. But now they have free usage.
Maybe
I just gotta say, Jonathan,
more education on people's, so people have more information about negotiating.
All anybody cares.
I saw that Queen too.
That's all they. That's all.
Fucking hilarious. I would say this though, Jonathan, like you freaking know how to do this stuff, but there are a lot of people that don't have people in their back pocket that are there to help them and can't do that. And unfortunately, sometimes what happens is they don't do that and they get taken advantage, or they try to do something that's not the right way to do it, and then they lose the job. And that's the biggest worry for a lot of people. And what has to happen?
Reach out. Actors who make money doing this. Reach out to people who know how to do it.
Awareness.
Reach out to other people and say, hey, actor, you've made a lot of money. Can you help me? Because this is what I feel like they're taking advantage of me. Can you help me? Most actors will help you. And if they won't, then they're dicks and don't worry about it.
Yeah. And fuck those people.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pep Star needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.